Tennessee Tech head coach Dewayne Alexander. The team picked up a 17-7 win over Kennesaw State this past week. This week is their open date, but they'll be back in action the first of 2 straight road games at Lindenwood on October 7th. So, Coach, let's talk about the win, and we'll go to some questions.
Well, it certainly was a big win, something we desperately needed, for this season. Very proud of our team. Very proud of the resiliency that they've shown. Very proud of the character that they've shown. Anybody that would listen to me, I've been telling them that I really believed in this team, that really had been a lot of things that we had kind of done to ourselves, but that really the scoreboard did not reflect the type of football team that we have. And I think Saturday night proved that. We only had 1 turnover for the game, which had been our nemesis in the previous 3. We took care of the football. We only had 2 penalties in the second half. Really had a really tremendous second half. Our defense showed up big, shut Kennesaw State out for 3 quarters. And we gave them a 74-yard touchdown drive to open the game. They only had 98 yards of offense for the remainder of the game. So really a big night by our defense, and again, held them scoreless for 3 quarters. And then offensively in the second half, we had 277 yards of offense in the second half. Fourth quarter alone, we ran 24 plays for 154 yards, had 2 touchdowns, 0 penalties, 0 turnovers, 2 fourth down conversions. It was really good to see that. And Kennesaw only ran 10 plays for 14 yards in the fourth quarter of the football game. So we really had a dominant fourth quarter, very close game. And again, the score was close at halftime because we had just done one thing. We'd taken care of the ball. We had taken care of the football and had not turned the football over in the first half. And we had a few procedural penalties and some things that really killed some drives. And, we cleaned those things up the second half. But, I really think the second half and the fourth quarter of this football game showed our team, and I think, everyone else, the type football team that we do have. And so that's the football team that we want to bottle up and take with us on the road to Lindenwood after the open date. The open date you mentioned, Kyle, for us this week comes at I don't know of a better time that it could come, just with some of the injuries. And we played without some guys. I know Kennesaw State had some guys that were out as well, but we played without some key guys on this past week's game, and got some guys just banged up and injured. But the good news, they're just banged up, and some of those things, I think they're all guys that we will have full hands, all hands on deck, for Lindenwood next week. So we're being, a lot of weight room, a lot of training room, academics, things like that this week, recruiting and things like that for our staff. We're only going to practice 1 day. We're going to be in the weight room 3 days, and try to get our football team healed up and ready to go. And then turn our attention to Lindenwood, which starts our conference schedule. We've not played a conference game yet here at Tennessee Tech. So we're 0-0 and 0-0 in Big South OVC conference play. So we start that at Lindenwood on the road next week. So, we're excited about that, and very glad to get a win. And I will say, Kennesaw State, it's a good win anytime you can beat Kennesaw State. They'd only lost 14 non-conference games in their 10 years that they've had a football program there. Coach Bohannon's done a tremendous job, with that program. He's the only coach they've ever had. They always play, tough. They're physical. And our guys were tough and physical in this game as well. And that was really, I thought, the difference in the game. We matched their physicality and their toughness in this football game is something we challenged our guys to do, and they did that. We were able to really win the line of scrimmage in this game on both sides of the football. We rushed for 251 yards, and all of our backs averaged over 5.5, 6 yards a carry, which was big. And our defensive line was able to get a lot of pressure on their quarterback and really affect the run in the pass game. So very proud of our team. Again, we're excited about the open date here, just to get healed up, get well. I think mentally and physically, we'll have ourselves ready to rock and roll and get ready for the 7-game stretch we have coming up. And our goal right now is to try to win October. We got 4 big games in October, starting at Lindenwood, South Carolina State. SEMO comes here, and then we have to go on the road to Robert Morris. So we've got a big October ahead of us, and we kind of got a new season. We've kind of set that as our schedule. We got a 4-game schedule for the month of October, and see if we can't win October. And that would make November all very interesting and a whole lot of fun.
When you see them at the weight this week and everything, how much more pep in the step is everybody going to have just because of that win? Had you lost going into the open date, I'm sure there'd be that negativity, but now I hope everybody's just in such a better mood.
Well, they are. I mean, there's no doubt winning cures a lot of ailments and a whole lot of things. But just the way we won. I mean, our guys hung in there. They kept to get down 7-0 right out of the gate in the first quarter. And then respond the way that they did. Lets you know the type of young men and that we have in our program. And I, like I said, the character and leadership on this team is outstanding. I mean, it really is. I mean, we've got tremendous team captains. We have 6 captains that are outstanding. We have 30 other guys that are junior, senior, grad type guys that are outstanding young men. We have a lot of maturity and character on this football team, and I think that's what allowed us to really win the second half and win this football game. But a win certainly has helped everybody. We had team meeting last night, and again, you could see everybody is they're excited, and it makes also when you're trying to make some corrections and still get better, which we did not play a perfect game by any means in this game. It certainly makes all those things a little more correctable coming off a win than it is if you were coming off a loss.
224 rushing yards. I don't know if we've talked about Marcus Knight, but obviously he has had some great numbers in his career. But just him and Justin and some of the things you all did running the ball.
Well, we played 2 running backs for the game. We had our other 2 running backs were injured. We usually play Javian Allen, and Torrin Baker plays some as well. But Marcus is a grad transfer to us from Montana. Had a tremendous career at Montana. Had to overcome some injuries and things there the latter part of his career, but he's back fully healthy. And we got him here late in the summer, so it's kind of taking him some time, to kind of get into the rhythm of offense and for us to get him in a rhythm, offensively. But he had 18 carries the other night for 112 yards. He averaged 6 yards a carry. Justin Pegues had a big night, 71 yards rushing. They both scored a touchdown. So our running back position, out of our running back position, we had 21 carries for 183 yards, on average 6 yards a carry. So a very good night rushing the football from our running backs. And both of them bring, some unique things, to the position, a good 1-2 punch. And along with that, you don't rush for that type of yardage and that type of rushing average if your offensive line and tight ends aren't getting it done as well. Plus, our guys on the perimeter did a nice job blocking. A lot of these runs were perimeter runs. They weren't all just inside runs. So, I thought they did a great job competing yards after catch. You always hear about yak yardage, but they did a tremendous job of finishing runs and played very physical.
What has your defense done the best this year? It seems like you have a lot of people contributing, and you held Kennesaw State to 3 yards per play for the whole game. But what are you most proud about with the defensive effort to this point of the season?
Well, they're playing relentless. I mean, just how hard they're playing, especially our defensive front now. We're really playing on the other people's other side of the line of scrimmage, and we've really done that in every game this year, including at Furman. We've gotten better at fitting some things, from our first 2 games as far as linebackers and safeties. It is a new defense, some obviously new terminology, new schematic, things that go with it. And so, we had a learning curve there, but the last 2 football games now, our defense has played lights out. I mean, against UNA, we held them to, 250 yards offense, for the game, and really got after them, and same thing this past week. But the number one thing is how hard these guys are playing, and then they're tackling well in space. We really upgraded. I feel like our safety and nickel positions, having Jai Gilmore be healthy. He missed most of last season with an injury, and he's a tremendous player. He was a freshman of the year candidate his freshman year, and then he's really had the injury bug, where he hasn't been able to play a full season. And this year he's been able to stay healthy, and he's really helped us. Our safeties are tackling well, and defensive line is really, really getting after it. I mean, they're playing. We had 3 sacks the other night, 8 tackles for loss, not to mention the times we've hurried the quarterback, got hits on the quarterback or made the quarterback uncomfortable. So our D-line play, our tackling in space by our secondary, and just, I think getting more comfortable in the scheme that we're playing now.
Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. Best of luck in the open date, and we'll talk to you again this time next Tuesday.
Wings up, and thanks, Kyle.